Good morning, everyone. How are you? This is Corey Babka from the Marks Group. I apologize, I'm running a little bit late this morning. You should be looking at the Cliffs of Moher right now in Ireland, and I'm about to get my Salesforce over here so you can see this. And then I'm going to go through the tips that we had last month. So as you all should know, or most of you know that you kind of attend these webinars, we do these every month. We do the tips and tricks for Salesforce. We actually do it for other products as well. But what we do is, I actually just submitted next month's tips last night. So if you go to our blog post today, marksgroup.net, you'll see 3 more tips that I just posted up last night. I will be going over those 3 tips, walking through those 3 tips and what we do. I will be doing those at the last Tuesday of every month. That's what we do. So we'll send out a newsletter, we'll give a few weeks, and the next thing you know, we're just fine. Okay, so you're looking at that. So I'm hoping that everyone can see everything okay. I'm just looking at the chat to see if there's anyone that is not seeing anything, and just let me know if you can't hear, can't see, etc., etc. I'm going to probably zoom this in just a little bit to give us a little bit more visibility on the page. Okay, that type of thing, just for recording purposes. Those of you watching this video on our YouTube channel, thanks for watching as well. I hope to catch you live next month. And I guess let's just kind of jump to it. Now, I'm looking at these tips. I will, in full honesty, I did not write these. I do the webinars, but I did not write them last month. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that I'm all good here. Becky was nice enough to write them for us, who's another one of our Salesforce people. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about adding a related list, validation rules, and some useful formulas. I'm going to leave us in Classic Edition because I think these 3 tips were done in Classic Edition. But normally, there's a lot of times where I'll go back and forth to Lightning Edition as well and jump around, and I'll do some tips in Lightning Edition, here and there too. Okay, so just keep in mind, if I want to jump back and forth, I just kind of go back here, go switch to Classic, and away we go. Those that haven't made the jump yet to Lightning, there's on our previous blog post, we had some nice things talking about how do I figure out who's not in Lightning and who is doing Lightning and all that. So there's definitely some availability there. Okay, all right. Okay, so I guess let's just get to it, right? And we're recording, sound is good. All right, on we go. Let me just make sure you can see my screen. Audience view. There we go. Good. Make sure. All right. You never know. I've done this before, peeps, where I've gone through, I've done a half-hour beautiful webinar, and no one could see my screen. You could hear me, but no one could see my screen. So I had to re-record it. That was fun. Okay, so let's start with the useful formulas. Okay, so as we know, I'm actually just going to bring this page over just so you can see it. This is just directly from the blog. It's just more of a formulas that are out there. If you don't know how to add formula fields, we can talk about it, or there's actually other ways of doing it. Not other ways. There's obviously it's in the setup area, things like that. So if I go back to my Salesforce and I go to setup and I go, let's say I'm going to create a new account field. Let's say accounts. Sorry, not create, customize accounts. Let's say fields, and then you do like a new field, right? And when I do a new field, one of them is formula, okay? And basically you give it a name, do this, and say, that's fine, agriculture. That's not really the name of the field. We're just doing it for right now. And then you have to choose what is the output. Is it going to be text? Is it going to be a number? I'm just going to say text for right now, and I say next, okay? By doing this, I now get to this formula area. So if we go back to our other page that we were at, some useful formulas, right? I would take these here and just take this, copy, put it in here, and paste it, right? And I can actually check the syntax. Okay, now in this case, it says syntax error, and the reason why is because annual revenue is not really a field, right? But I could do things like I could insert the field and say, I want where annual revenue, insert, oh yeah, I did there. Why is that not working? Hot, warm, I think it's because of these stupid double quotes. I'm betting. Certain transposition issues that we have. Check the syntax. Bingo, no syntax error. So watch your double quotes when you're doing formulas, okay? Has to do with the fact that when I'm doing this, it's the way we copy them over, okay? But here, what's nice is this post that Becky did. You've got a bunch of things here that says hot, warm, you know, she translates it to what it is. And then just so you know, this is actually a very dynamic field. I use formulas all the time if I want to display something, right? And by displaying it, I can actually do this here, and I can save the field or save the formula. And then I'm going to say next, and it's already there. And then I save it, and it's all there. So if I go to my account, right, area, go to Precision Air Conveying, you can see this new field was called agriculture because I was an idiot and named it that. But you notice that my annual revenue is, I'm looking for annual revenue here. I may not have it displayed. There it is. Annual revenue is blank, right? Now, if I make it for $5 million, let's do another $50 million and save that, you're going to notice that my field is going to update right away to hot, and it's got a padlock. Why is that? Because I can't change this. I can't edit this. But what's really nice is that you can use formula fields in views. So a lot of times, if I edit this view, I can actually add in that agriculture field, which is right here, right? Here, I know, I should have named it something right, but there it is, right? And I can say it has sorted by that, and then I get my hot and whatever it is, and wherever we're at. This is no primary, this is different. If I do all accounts and I sort, well, you would have had to add that in, but that agriculture, I can put it in there, okay? So I'm going to actually go back to my, what was the view I was in? No primary. And I'm going to edit that and get rid of the agriculture field. Say that. And I'm going to go back to my form. I'm going to go edit layout. And I am going to get rid of agriculture because I don't want it. Okay. And if I wanted to delete it, I could actually delete it as well. So back to, you know, the actual popular formula. So that was an easy one. It's an if then, right? If this is over this, then make it hot. Otherwise, make it warm. Okay. And if any questions or anything, please just use the chat, pop it out, let me know. I've kind of got everyone on mute just to keep it a little quieter, a little more manageable. But if you have any questions, just use the chat. It's totally fine. Okay. All right. I'm just going to move the chat over to another screen here. All right. So, and then we've got, you know, that's the translation. Go to this one. And a lot of this is if-then statement, right? So if the billing state is blank, then we put none, right? And we're working on a field here that's called, I don't know, region, coast, whatever we are, right? What region? So if this contains, if the billing state contains any of these, the output is going to be that. That's how these work, okay? Same thing. If the billing state's blank, then the value is none, otherwise yada, 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 right? For opportunities, there's something here that you have to look at. It's a little bit different because it's not a text field. These other ones that we were doing above, you know, billing state and revenue, those are flat text fields that you can write whatever you want. In this case here, we've got a pick value because it's a droplet, or it's a pick list, right? It's a drop down. So if it is closed one, the stage name that is closed one, right? Then I want to give, it's saying is the pick value, and then you're rounding it up. Let's see, if the stage name pick value is closed one, then the value of the field will be 2% of the amount field. It will be rounded up 2 decimal places. That's something else, right? So this is what we're doing here. So the if-then statement is if the stage name is closed, if the pick value of the stage name is closed one, that's what the statement is, then we're going to round it out. We're going to do 2% times 0.2. We're going to take the amount, multiply it by 0.02 or 2%, round it to 2 decimal places, right? That's what this 2 is. Otherwise, make it 0. An if-then statement is always an if-then else. What do I do if it matches? What do I do if it doesn't? And I'd say 0. Okay. Let's see, preferred phone. What do we got here? So let's just do the translation first. When the preferred phone value is work, the value of the field will be a W plus the value in the phone field, right? So there, she's got a new field that's called preferred phone that says W.phone, H.phone, whatever it is. So therefore, when you have home phone, mobile phone, work phone, you can actually choose which one is the value. So it's a drop down that says if that you choose work, mobile, or home, right? And then the value of the field is going to be that, right? And then otherwise it's going to say no preferred phone. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it almost looks like there's 2 fields the way she was building this. We know it's a custom field called preferred phone. And then, oh, I know what she's doing. So it's when she chooses work, it instantly changes it to W plus phone is what she does. It's preferred phone value. It's interesting. It's like she kind of creates it on the fly and you choose it and then there it is, right? Phone numbers. This is a big one. Okay. I actually should be using this myself. I use a masking is what I do instead. That kind of takes it into account and says it, or no, actually I don't. I use a validation rule to make sure that the user puts it in correctly. But in this case, what we're doing is if the country code equals 1, then take this, put then mid, and then the mid. You're going to do 2. And I guess what's going to happen, it's going to grab these characters and see it's doing this. It's adding in hyphens and parentheses and all that, right? So if the country code is 1, then you're going to take middle of that, and then you're going to concatenate that, and then concatenate this at the 11th spot, so it's leaving spaces, right? So it's put the following string of text together, starting the second character, get the next 3, get the next 3, get the next 4, right? For date, we got a few of them. Day returns 1 to 7. Month is what month it is. And you can do a lot of math that way. That's where I like to do these a lot. Okay. You can also do today as a field, like if you want to say month and then instead of today or a date, you could do a date field, or you could just do a flat out today and it'll give you today's day of the week, right? Displaying a month as a string, right? So then working off of this, month date is going to return 1 to 12. So today would be 10 because we're in October. But then when I do get case, if the month equals 10, actually write in the word October is what I want you to do. Okay. And then that's what it does there, based on the amount of the month. And that's Becky. So if you have any questions on this, by all means, you can write me, Corey at marksgroup.net, C-O-R-E-Y at marksgroup.net, or you can always ping Becky as well. She's B-E-C-C-I at marksgroup.net. If you have any problems, just say I saw your tip, just kind of what it is. Or you can even put some comments down here. You can put in a comment here, and then I'll get those as well. Okay? All right, excellent. So let's go back to our other tip. So last night, like I said, I did the backups and sandbox. Let's jump to the validation rules. Okay. So validation rules, we're going to do this in Classic. Validation rules are a little bit different, but it's data accuracy, right? And the big deal here is that when you're looking at accuracy of input and making sure that they, people are putting data in correctly, you do have to use validation rules to make sure that if it's almost like an if-then statement, but it forces the user to put in the right thing. So in this case here, we are going to do, I'm trying to look to see what the sample is. Yeah, so we're going to do like an account number. Okay, so they just keep data consistent across the board, across your users, right? And if it doesn't work correctly, what happens is it yells at the user, not yells, but gives them a warning and says you got to do this correctly, right? So all we do is we always go to setup. You can do this in Lightning or whichever. I mean, I use the field search to always say validation. And here are my validation rules. It's a duplicate, duplicate. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say, you notice that there's one per object. So we're going to go here and we're going to do an account validation rules. Now I've already got a couple, like Goldmine version, right? And what happens is if I'll even show you this one, what it does. I had to turn it off because it was causing me too many issues, which can be the problem. But in this case here, I've got prompts user for Goldmine version if they select Goldmine as a product. So it's kind of like a dependent error message, right? If I choose Zoho in the product that this company has, it's not going to give me an error if I have the version blank. But that's what this is doing. It's saying if this is Goldmine, right here, and it is blank, the product version, and is new equals false. So I've got this is new qualifier because I don't want to yell at them every time it's a new record. That can cause issues. And I had to add this in because we're doing quick creates, right? But in this case here, if it's not, and I change it to Goldmine, and it's this, the version is blank, it's going to give them an error that says, please provide a version in Goldmine in the version field, okay? So in our case here, what Becky's doing in her tip is she's got something about account numbers. So if account number is less than 8 characters, it will yell at them and make sure it's got 8 characters. It's kind of like a phone number. Like if a phone number is 10, make sure that it does actually, if it's 10 characters and it's supposed to be 10 and you put in 8, it's going to kind of prompt the user that makes you validate that phone number, right? What I'm going to do to make things easier is I'm just going to show you what I've got. So it gives the error. I have the ability to put the top of the page or right next to the field, which is a little interesting, okay? You can do it with a formula, like I did here, and I say check syntax, and I'll say no problems. It's important that we say this here. If this formula is true, then you display the error. So it's not really an if-then. It's like this begins, text product that, Goldmine, and then is blank, right? And if all of these are true, then I'm going to give the error message. What I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this bad boy. Okay, active right here. Check the box, save it up, and we're going to go and look at my account. We're going to find a Goldmine customer. Let's see here if I have products. You know what? Let's do my Dynamics customers. Oh, wait, did I have one there? Goldmine. There's Goldmine customers. Okay, so if I go look at academic careers online, okay, I say he's got Goldmine corporate, right? But you notice he's got product version, so everything's fine. Okay, let's go back. Goldmine customers. Well, that was weird. Then I went back to that. Come on. Well, that's weird. I didn't want that. My view is getting goofed up. Seem to be having a Salesforce bug. Okay. If I do this, I'm going to go down to someone that is like here. Okay, perfect. So he's got Goldmine Premium. And if I just make any changes, it's not going to fire until I make a change. But if I go into here and I say, put in their website, right? I save it. Now it says, please provide a version for Goldmine in the version field, right? And this is because I had it as a like statement, like if it contained the word Goldmine. So now in here, I have to do this and say like 9.0. And once I do that, now website saved, this saved, and we're all good. That is a validation rule. Consider it again like a dependent forcing of your users to put in the right data. I mean, that's what we're looking at, okay? All right, okay, just making sure here. All right, and our last tip we're gonna go into is adding a related list, okay? Now, a related list is a little bit It's you know, we're going into, I'm just going to show you to add the related list. It's in the page layout area, but your related list is essentially all these items here, okay? If I scroll down the page, this is all my related lists, right? Well, what you may find is when you're doing an edit layout for the record, some of my related lists are not there, right? See assigned territories, community members, contact roles. Any of these is not there. Now I can do other things in here, right? Assets, approval history, contact roles. If I wanted to do contact roles, for instance, I could drive this in here, but this is where we have the one-to-many relationship. Okay, now you notice, big thing is I don't have the wrench. I have the wrench here, but I don't have the wrench here, so I'm going to get rid of that because part of our tip today is going over that, right? And the related list, though, you know, for instance, if I don't have cases, in this case, I'm going to get rid of it, and now it's up top. But let's say I wanted to see cases. We're starting to use cases again, one-to-many relationship. I want tickets tracked, multiple tickets, things like that. You can also, like I said, I showed you here, you can remove them if you don't want them, right? And then you can also add them. But in this case here, I'm going to take cases and just drag it down and tell it where I want to put it. And that's my case, okay? Gives you all the columns that are there, which is nice, right? The other thing that you can also do is you can go here and you can change this with the wrench and say, you know what? I want to actually modify which one of these fields I don't want. Like maybe I don't want owner, but I do want case origin instead. And you can change these around. You can also change what the default, the sorting is. So I could say date opened descending, right? And that's going to get my newest up top, right? There's also other things that you can do down here. See, this is what I don't like about Salesforce. Be careful to scroll, right? Because you could say apply column information to other page layouts, product information, whatever else is there. If product information in the case is there, to other page layout. Oh, that's right. See, because I have different page layouts for my account record. So you want to make sure that we do it all, or I don't have to. But I like this one. Becky doesn't really go into it in the tip, but down here in the buttons, this is where I can add and change buttons, right? And you might have custom buttons that are there that allow you to move it in, right? So I might put this export to Excel if I wanted to in there, and away we go. Or you can minimize it and it's gone. The main thing here is this. It's the assets, what's available over here on the left and what needs to move over on the right. I say okay. You now see it. There's the date open. You can see the sorts there. And then I'm going to save it. A lot of times people will do this preview as based on your roles. So you can see what it looks like for a standard user. I'll open up a record this way and show it to you. And scroll down, see the cases, and that's what it looks like if they can see it and whatever you're looking at. I mean, this doesn't have to do with the related list. This preview as is more for the form design in general. Like if you have certain fields that you do not want visible to other roles, you can do it in here through security. You could do it this way, read only required. You have to do the field level security to limit it by role, but by doing that, you would actually see what this looks like per role. Otherwise, you save it up, and by saving it, here you are, everything's good, we're done, right? And there's my cases. New case, I can add it in, and I can see where they are, right? If I actually want to see a record, I actually go to my cases. There's a case, so I can show you what this looks like. So I go to this account, scroll down, there's my case record, everything I did the date opened, I got rid of things, but there's my case origin, and that's what we are, okay? So that's it for today. Those are the 3 tips that we're talking about. Like I said, I did post these last night, my new tips last night. They're up already, but we'll be doing the webinar at the last week of the month, so the end of November. We'll be doing those on that Tuesday morning. Hope you picked something out of this, hope you got something out. And again, any questions, any problems, please just ping me, Corey at marksgroup.net, COREY at marksgroup.net. Otherwise, we'll see you next month, and enjoy. Bye-bye now.